Good evening. This is Robert Paltz, and today I'm going to take and share with you an artifact I have. And let's see what's going on here. All righty, it's coming up. Okay, you should be seeing the first page. I'm going to do the German box today. Uh, if this is successful, I'd like to see some comments of people what they think of doing it this way. We have a number of artifacts that we received from a number of family members. And this happens to be one that I received from my mother. When you tell people that you're the historian or the genealogist for the family, all types of things come out. And this one came out from my mother, which is quite a surprise to me. I'd seen it in her uh, bedroom, but I had never really actually seen the inside of it. And she gave it to me and explained to me a little bit about it. Okay, first off, I'm neither a professional or an expert genealogist. I do this really as a collaborative effort so that I put things out that I do. It's kind of like I'll show you what I'm doing, you show me what you're doing, and maybe between the two of us, we can come up with something that makes it easier for both of us. So I really live on comments. Takes a lot of time to do these, but also means that I have to do Thomas McGinty's do-over. I have to look at each one of these documents, and today it's been fairly revealing. I have not looked at this box in a long time. Uh, I think my mother died almost 10 years ago now, and she gave it to me just before then. And so anyway, these videos can be paused and replayed. So people that think I go too fast can take and rewind it. There's also a setting in settings where you can take and set this thing to take and view at a slower speed. And I recommend using that. I've tried that a couple times on videos. That's helped me. All these views are expressed are mine. I'm a member of 7 genealogy societies. I don't represent any of them. I do administer to one name sites, and they're there. If you're interested, come join. If you're one of those family members, we'll even let you in. Have a good one. Okay, let's go here. The German box. Now, I was visiting my mother, and we were talking about family, and she didn't talk about family very much with me because she kept saying those people are all dead, and uh, it depresses me to think about them all being gone. And I was, well, Mom, you know. Anyway, she gave me this German box and the contents. She told me it contained the last letter and will from her mother, and other items she had collected on her mother, and some things she had collected just for fun. She also indicated the box was from her mother and was given to her mother from her mother, and so on back to the German immigrant on the female line. She said that it was her mother's jewelry box, and that the box had originated in Germany and was brought over by a female ancestor and was used as a jewelry box until mom got it. And when mom got it, she used it as a memento box. It was the only thing her mother had of her mother's. And we'll talk about why that is. Her mother died when she was 2 years old. So this is the line we're talking about. Here's me, here's my mother, here's her mother, here's her mother, and then Louise Gaiser is the German immigrant that I'm assuming this came from. I know that this mother is the one that she's talking about, the only thing she got from her mother. But the Louise Gaiser is a question mark, but I figure that's correct. Strength of connections here again. Okay, here's how I'm related. Just showed you on the pedigree chart. Here's the relationship chart. A little bit easier to read on the relationship chart. Important facts. Kate, who is my mother's mother, I'm sorry, mother's grandmother, had died in 1889 at the age of 29. At that point in time, her husband was also ill with typhoid. I don't know if Kate died of typhoid or something else. Could have been exhaustion. She was taking care of two children and the husband at the time, and she's 28 years old. So, it's tough. And then Margaret, who was her daughter and my grandmother, grandmother, Maggie was 2 years old when her mother died, and so she was basically raised by her stepmother. And so this was the only thing she had from her mother. Okay, this is what it looks like. It's a kind of a very strong dark patina on it now. It is a lacquered box with decorations all around it. At the end of this, I have a video where I go through the box. At one point in time, that was just my trial run, but I was really happy with it. So I'm going to stick it on the end of this so you can take and see the pieces as I bring them out. I hadn't looked in the box in many, many years. And so this is kind of the order in which it came to me in. This is what the box looks inside. I'll point out the hinges and the latches all look like they're from the early 1800s. If you look at the nails, they're not very well developed. Might even been hand forged to take and fit this box. Okay. So it looks, time-wise, it looks like it's a strong possibility of being there. Somebody may know something different about these kinds of boxes. They may have some sort of relevance to somebody. You can see there's chips out of it all around. So it's lived a long life. Okay, the first item in it is this letter. This is the front. This is the back. And with the help of AI, this is what it says. I'm going to leave that for you to read. It is basically her last will. This is my grandmother in 1948, and she's dying of cancer. And so she does two letters that are in here. And this is how she wants her assets distributed. Okay. She was a very independent woman. She didn't get married till after she was 30 years old, which was really strange for the time. And she had a profession. She rolled cigars, and so she had her own income. And she also liked to fly in the old biplane airplanes. I have a picture of her getting out of one of them. Okay, this is a page 2. This is the analysis. I used Gemini AI, but it was heavily edited after that. This, as you can see from the document, it's pretty difficult to read, and you have to know some things, like you have to know Teacup School is just down the street from the house, and you have to know the names of people, Francis Edgar Kern, stuff like that. You know that he's a brother at this point in time, that he's at Notre Dame and he's studying to be a teacher. Okay. The USS ALTAMAHA, which is the paper that's used, is the ship that Bernard Kern was on at the time. You can tell that the paper is very difficult to find in this family because this is being reused. She cut off the piece that Bernard had sent her, a little note that he had sent her, and reused the paper for this. Okay. And she died 9 April 1948. So this had to occur. These handwritten documents had to occur just before that. The next document is Keeper of the House. Now, this, I believe, is my mother's document, and here's why. This is in an Oklahoma magazine instead of an Indiana magazine, and it's dated 1974. Well, we went down to Texas in 65. We were in Oklahoma, and we were in Oklahoma in 65. Went to Texas in 57. And so we were definitely in Oklahoma at this point in time. And my mother was in Oklahoma. I wasn't. Okay. It's dated 15th December 1974. It was from an Oklahoma magazine. You can find this document in several Oklahoma publications, not just this magazine, if you do a newspapers.com search. And I believe that my mother put this document in the box. Next document. This is a real estate transfer. You'll see it right down here. It is like this. And this is my parents selling back to the bank, who is probably the mortgage holder on that piece of property, and the building that the two buildings that are sitting on it. This is 3306 Eichelhart Avenue, Evansville, Indiana. What I found very interesting in this is as far as I know, my parents never engaged a realtor in their lives to sell a piece of property. And oftentimes they were trying to sell it by themselves, and it just didn't work for them. That we left this house in 57. It sat basically vacant as far as I know until this point in time, and then it was returned to the bank for the mortgage. They had been in it for 6 years at that point. They paid it. The mortgage was total principal was up around $800 in the first place. So we were extremely poor. We had 8 kids, and he was a mechanic, and he was unemployed a lot of the time. We did buy the house at 4220 Cuthbert Lane in 58 or 59. So they were carrying 2 mortgages. So it was very difficult for them. It was very interesting to see that this is not one lot. This lot was given to my parents as a wedding gift by my grandparents. Now, our grandparents had bought a city block that was just outside of the city at one point in time, and they sold off lots. That was their insurance. If they had a problem, they sold a lot, and a financial problem, they sold a lot. And so at this point, at the time we lived there, there were only about 4 lots that had been sold on this city block out of about 15 or so. And this was lot, part of lot 9. It looks like 9 and 8. So it's, and also you'll see that no stamps were issued. Well, no stamps indicate that no funds transferred. So this makes me believe that this was sent back to the bank for the mortgage, what was left of the mortgage. And at the same time, they were building a house out on the lake when we left Evansville. And I have not found any transactions for that piece of property. I have looked at the house, and there is a house sitting on it today. Okay, this next one is the second letter that's in there, that's in her handwriting. And here's the fact page. And here's what AI and I have been able to come up with as the transcription. So this is the analysis of the front page. I think this is social. And then this is the analysis of the second page. Okay. Next item is item 4. This is the front. This is the back. And John N. Kern was 3 years old when he died in 1931. Was my mother's brother. Both my mother and my father lost siblings. My father lost a sister. My mother lost a brother at early ages. And this is one of he's John Matthew Kern. I'm assuming he has another middle name. As you'll see that all the names have 4 names. I think that was my grandmother's idea. And so she liked to add long names. And I don't know of any German reason for doing that, except it must have been just a personal thing. This document and the Browning database document and the family name Kern publication are the sole sources for this death record. I have not found it anyplace else. Find a Grave does not list the grave, although I have a picture of the gravestone from my visit there in the 90s. Okay. The next document is, these are several documents that are an announcement of my grandmother's death. And so they're all in 1948. I do the front and the back because if I'm trying to find these documents, since they don't all have dates on them, when I'm looking for these documents, sometimes I can find the information that's on the back of it. And so these are all announcements in the paper about her death. And this is how they came. All of these are findable on newspapers.com. And in fact, all you've got to do is look under her name now, because I've tagged all of them in newspapers.com. So they're all tagged to her. Okay. Okay, the 9th document is this, and this was my grandmother's, I'm sure. When I scan the back of it, it's very light pencil. These are the 2 best scans I got. I used my scanner on, I think there's 5 or 6 settings on it. I used every one of the settings to take and try and bring this out. These were the 2 best. When I did the analysis on AI could not read these. I could. It says Margaret at Kern, 3300 Iglehart Avenue, Esvo, Indiana. So that's how to get it back to her if it's lost. This has a religious significance, and I am so far from that now that I don't remember what it means. Like I said, I used all the settings on my Shrine scanner to get this. There are 2 more items in the box. This appears to be a hairpin to me, and this appears to be some form of a clip. You can see it clips right there. Anyway, I do not know what the clip is for unless it's to hold something like a ponytail. And the hairpin obviously has uses in here. So the item on the right appears to be a hairpin, and the item on the left is some type of clip. Anyone have an idea exactly what it is and how it's used? Okay, the following video is the order in which I believe that the documents were gifted to me when I pulled them out of the box. I originally did this video as a test to take and see if that would work, because I didn't have any idea that I would be able to do the video using the presentation mode on the Shrine scanner, and it worked just fine. And so I'm now I'm adding it in. I was so happy with the video. I'm adding it in at the end, so you can see the order in which it came out, and you can also see some of the Roots Magic, how to get through Roots Magic and do some of the things I did. Okay. Good morning. This is Robert Halls, and this is a test to check and see how things work. And let's see how this works out. Okay. Let's put one on. Okay, not far away. Okay, you should be seeing the share screen now. That's what I'm going to call the Turing box. This box was given to me by my mother, and when she gave it to me, she said it was her mother's, and it had been her mother's mother, and it had come from Germany from the mother before. So this is the top. This is the end. This is another end. You'll see it's decorated all the way around. The end. And then this is the end. And then the bottom is like this. And you can see it's well used. Nice patina. Now let's open it up. Now, this should be the early 1800s. Those hinges right along there look like they might be early 1800s. Look at this piece here. It's the latch. And the latch is down. The piece that feeds into is down here. Get it up there where you can see it. There it is. Okay. These are the documents that are in there. Let me set this aside. Oops. That's a little bit of a big problem. First thing, it's a letter from my grandmother to the family. This is her last letter. This is when she wrote. That's the second page. And this is the first page. And I will give a better scan of this later on. But this is a letter. You'll notice it says USS ALTAMAHA or whatever. I don't know how to say that. That is the ship my Uncle Bernard was on, which was her oldest son. So I will try and hope and use AI if I can read the handwriting on this. So this is one letter. Some of these things are from her, and some of these are from my mother. I have a strong suspicion this is from my mother. This is something that she saved. Okay? And the reason why I think it's from my mother is that if you read this, it says it's in the Orbit magazine, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. I believe that was after she had moved to Oklahoma. Okay, here's another document. Real estate transfers. Okay, try and find that. I will try and find that in newspapers.com and get a more accurate time, but it's got everything on there. Here's the back side of that. So that might even give me a better chance of chasing it down. Not 11. See, the paper was a premium. They were reusing everything they've got. Okay. Here's another backside of it. Okay. Next is a religious card. Family were Roman Catholics. There's a lot of religious cards in here. It's for John M. Kern. So this was the death burial card for John M. Kern. That was her son, and I forgot how he's died. So, it's my mother's brother. Yeah. This document I have from newspapers.com, so I have a better version of it. But here's the version my mother kept. This is the death of my grandmother. Here's the front of it. And there's William Bendix on it. So that's kind of fun. And here's another called the Arbit. And got the date right there. And there's the back side of that. Of course, that's Evansville. And I've got all of these on newspaper.com, I believe. And the back side of that, let's open it up so that we have the back side of it is like this. Okay. And then we have this. I'm trying to get that scanned so that you can read it. And it's a card. And that may have actually originated from my grandmother. There's a something on that's in there. It looks almost like a man's pen for clasping something. And normally described as a hairpin. It's an awful big hairpin, so maybe somebody out there knows what's this one. Okay, let's put those over here. And then here's the box. looks like it's developing a crack in the bottom of it. We come from drying out. My postal stamp has been posted, painted over there. Like the lid, like the gold in the lid. Gold speckles. This I was told was her jewelry box, meaning my grandmother's jewelry box. My mother didn't use it for a jewelry box. She kept it as a keepsake box. And put everything back in it. And then, oh, let's see where this person is. Okay, this is my mother. This is her mother. This is her mother. Now, Kate didn't last long. Kate died when she was 28 years old. And at the time, she had a sick husband that had blood typhoid. And she died then. My grandmother, and that's 1881, O's, 1881, 1881, she was 2 years old. And so at 2 years old, my grandmother had actually was out on her own for a while, and then ended up with a second one. Well, and every reason to believe was very good. All right, Kate is not born in Germany. She's born in Indiana. But this, I have come to believe, this was originally Louise Gaiser's, Gaise, and she came from Württemberg, Germany. And this is what I've got collected on her so far. And so to show you how I am related to her, I'll start to publish. Shoot relationship chart. No standing name. And so this is my relationship. Father, my mother, Margaret. So you'll see there's all females in here. So it's my intention to give this to my daughters, my older daughter, Margaret, and so anyway, that's my plan. Thanks.